What's going on, gamers? Today we're going over how to disable and enable the End and Nether. Before we get started, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell in order to stay updated on all of our Minecraft videos. I think we can all agree, Minecraft is one heck of a ride, no pun intended. But sometimes the Nether and End can be too much to handle for some servers. So today we're going over how to disable those very portals. Before we jump in at all, you gotta know that you can find any of the links that you need in the description of this video. That includes any mods or any sort of related links. The first thing that we're going to start with is the simplest one, which is the vanilla Nether. In this case, you would just stop your server with the red stop button. Then on the left hand side, you would go to the config files tab. Once that's selected, you're going to go to the section that says server settings. It is the first one at the top of the list. Once that loads up, you're going to select allow Nether, and you can either click enabled or disabled in the drop down bar. To disable it, obviously you would select disable, then scroll all the way down to where you see the green save button, and then you simply select save. And once it's completed, you'll get a pop-up saying restart now, and select that. Then you see it's good to go. Moving on to the next one, we're going to talk about paper. This is the PaperMC disabler. What you first have to do is stop your server, and instead of config files, this time you're going to head to the left-hand side and go to FTP file access. From here, you're going to log in with your panel password, or if you have a cached one, you can go ahead and use that, but I'll type it in just as an example. Once I'm done typing it in, I'm going to go ahead and hit enter or the green login button. From here, I want to scroll down to where I see the bucket.yml file in the middle there. On the right-hand side of that, there's a edit button. From here, you can see in the settings, there is a allow end section, and it's always set to true by default. If you want to switch it up, all you do is type in false in place of true, and all you do from there is hit the green save button right next to the download button. And once it's saved, you can head back to the main page of your panel by clicking on the server's name up at the top. And once you do that, then you can either start or restart your server in order to get those changes fixed for good. Moving on to the next one, we're going to talk about Forge. Forge does not have a natural file whenever you switch to it in the jar file field, so we're actually going to need to open up a new tab and get the mod anti-portals from CurseForge. Again, this can be found in the description of this video, but once you type that in, look for the CurseForge link and it should look something like this. Once you're here and you know that you're on the right page, you're going to go ahead and go to where you see the Files tab and select that. There aren't really many files for this one, so just go ahead and locate the latest version of the 1.16.5 game, because that's the only one that's available, and select the orange download button. Once it's downloaded, you're going to head back to the main page of your panel and once again select the red stop button to stop your server. Then once it's stopped, you're going to hit the left-hand side FTP file access once again and open the mods folder that loads up once you've logged in. From here, on the left-hand side, you'll click upload once more. Then click and drag your download into the add files section, and once that's at 100%, you'll be ready to head back to the main page of your panel. Once again, click the top name of your server and either start or restart to get the mod saved. And once it's finally saved, you're actually going to need to stop your server once again. Go to the left-hand side, click FTP file access. You know what you got to do by now. Log in with your panel password or your cached password, and you're actually going to head to the config folder at the top. Then you can see the antiportals.common folder, and you're going to edit that on the right-hand side. And here you can see you can edit the end, the nether, the anti-eye, which means you can't throw ender eyes. These are all things that are pretty simple, but this mod is very helpful for. So as an example, if I want to switch out the end, I would switch from true to false in order to get that fixed, and then the end would not be able to load. Obviously, if I want to switch back, all I would do is switch it back to true, and as long as you do it and save it, the changes will be saved. Then you just have to head back to the main page of your panel by clicking the top name of your server once more. And of course, once you're there, you're going to either start or restart your server in order to get those changes changed. Now, talking about Fabric, it's kind of a similar process. So first you're going to need to locate the Disable Portals mod, and you can type that in or check in our description. And once that's loaded up, you're going to look for the CurseForge link that appears, and it may look something like this if you type it in this way. So from here, you're going to need to scroll down and make sure you're on the same page as I am. Once you're sure you are, you should be able to scroll down and see a big block that says requires Fabric API. So we're going to need to install that as well as the mod for disabling portals. So click that big block, click the leave CurseForge link, and you'll be taken to this page. This is where you're going to get the Fabric API download, and what you're going to do is click on versions next to description. Once that loads up, you're going to locate the version of your choice. Once again, I like 1.16.5, so that's the one I'm going with. And once you've found it, you're going to click the download button on the left side. From here, you're going to go back to the main page, go to Files, and once again, there aren't that many files for mods like this, so you can still go into the View Alt section, but just find the latest version of the game. And again, I'm choosing 1.16.5, so I will hit the orange download button for that version. Back at the main page of our panel, we are now going to stop our server once again, and you're going to go to the left-hand side where you see FTP file access. We visit FTP file access so much that I know you got the rhythm down, gamers. Hit login, and once you're there, you're going to select the file of mods, and of course you're going to select that. You're going to go to the left-hand side and hit upload. And then you're going to click and drag both the Fabric API files as well as the Disable Portals mod into the Add Files section. Once those are at 100% each, you're going to click in the top where your server name is once again and either start or restart your server once you're back at the main page of your panel. Once it's reset and good to go, you're going to actually stop your server, go back to FTP file access, log in, and this time you're going to go to the config files once again. So once you're at this page, you're going to locate it, select the config file, select the edit button for the only thing that should be in that config file. And here, once again, you can select whether or not you want to enable or disable the Nether, but keep in mind, it's written differently than the Forge version. So as an example, I set it from false to true here, and then I would just click save. And once that's saved, I can head back to the main page of my panel and reset it. Now let's cover a couple of the basic common issues. So head back to your FTP file access and locate the files that we've been working on. In this case, I'm just using the Fabric ones once again. So I'm going to head back and hit the edit button. And the first one we're going to take a look at is a misspelled format. All this simply means is you might have set it to false or true, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you've fixed the error. What this means is there could be a misspelling or a space in between it, and as you can see with the space there's a red X meaning that it won't work. Just make sure it's spelled correctly for whatever command you're using and you'll be good to go. Similarly, another common issue is misread prompts. In this case, we're looking at the version of disable end portals, and if that's set to false, then nothing will happen. But if you set disable the nether portals to true, for example, then you're disabling the nether portal to the server. Set it back to false if you want to switch it back. Of course, make sure you always save, and then you can reset your server. Then you'll be good to go. Disabling and enabling the nether or the end can be confusing if you don't know what you're doing, but hopefully this guide helped getting all that confusion sorted out. Well, that'll just about do it for this one, gamers. As always, I hope that you have lots of fun.
Thanks for watching. If you want to see more great content like this, then subscribe or click these videos. Until next time, gamers.